until on Friday.
Oh my god, I'm like
Elo matches. How often do people funnel?
Not really often.
I'm like big.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the NBS Rust channel. So basically, this is possibly going to turn into a series, but this is going to be a video that is aimed to improve your AK spray. I'm not saying I can beam at like 300 meters. I mean, no, it's just unrealistic. But what I will say is, if you watch this video and do the things that I'm going to tell you to do, hopefully your AK spray will improve. So without any further ado, let's hop onto a practice server and I'll show you guys my routine. All right, so here we are on UKN. It's like my favorite server to practice on. So the most important thing I think that you should establish first is your sensitivity. Me personally, I play on 400 DPI at like 0. I can tell you right now, input. I play on a 0.35 sensitivity. So that's just what I play on. If you want to look at it, mounts aiming sensitivity is just 1. And then, yeah, I play on a 0.35. I don't know why it says 4. But establishing your sensitivity is something that you have to do first on Rust. If you've played other games and you kind of play a high sense, and if it works for you, then go ahead. But personally, me, I've just found more success in doing low sensitivity when it comes to spraying guns on Rust. All right, so now let's look at this like you know nothing about the AK, right? How do you want to learn the fastest? So you want to go from being like a 25 meter beamer to like 150 meter beamer fast, okay? So if you have no idea, and this applies to every weapon that you want to learn, how to spray the weapon, you can put an 8x on. But at a certain point, the 8x becomes completely useless because you already know the spray pattern. You're just trying to fine tune it and make it absolutely perfect. But what you can do is you can spray with the 8x. Like if you're brand new to the AK, you can spray with the 8x. I would say like do it for like 10 minutes or something, you know? Just kind of, because it really makes the spray pattern, you know, harder to do. And if you keep doing that and you really get like used to it, obviously when you take it off and you go back to spraying the AK normally, it's going to be a little different because you're used to making those really big movements. But once you do that, you'll kind of understand the actual spray pattern of the AK. So I do recommend doing that. The one thing you have to understand is when you're trying to learn the AK, you can't be doing it for, you can spray all day. You literally can spray all day, but you need to have, your brain needs time to learn. So it's going to take some time to build like the fundamentals of spraying the AK. But like I will say, use the 8x first. If you're brand new to AK, just get in there and spray with the 8x. And then once you've got the spray pattern down, you can hit most of your shots with the 8x, take it off, and then start spraying with like either irons or a hollow laser. And that's probably the best thing that you could do, in my opinion. And once you keep doing that over and over and over, it just every day for like 10 to 15 minutes, you don't have to spend hours in UKN, but put a little bit of that time into just practicing your AK spray or whatever gun that you want. Like right now, this is the AK. So my next video might be a little more in depth with the AK, or, you know, I don't know what gun I'm going to do next. It just depends on what people want to see. The one thing I will say is a lot of people, when they're learning how to spray AK, they just kind of crouch and stand still like this. And they just spray at the wall or whatever. But the really most important thing that you could probably do is start like when you're first learning, like strafe spraying. So like if you're peeking a wall or someone's shooting at you, you can always be able to like kind of move and still control the AK. And that's really important, like especially if like UKN scrimming or you're like doing anything where you have to fight somebody and get like a spray off. Your strafing messes them up a lot because when they're trying to shoot you and they're strafing and you're strafing, it's just like who can track better. But that's something that you learn just by actually getting into a lot of fights. Another really good way to learn the AK is to go into like UKN. It has a bunch of servers. Like if you're in the lobby, you can see they have FFA walls, they have like AK FFA, all that kind of stuff, and then they have ranked scrims. Ranked scrims are going to make you play a little harder and like really make you not want to miss your shots because ELO is on the line. And like AK FFA is like a lot of face checks, kind of really close AK action, so you really have to like constantly just be doing the first like 5 or 6 bullets when you're spraying, so you're obviously burning that into your muscle memory over and over, like just being able to hit those first couple shots. But if you really wanted to continue to, you know, get better with the AK, what I like to do is, let's say we go back to the lobby, and this is like, that range was pretty predictable, but I like to go to UKN's procedural map, and this way you have all these bots, and they have like weird head glitches and stuff like that, like you're going to encounter in game, or let's say like you're like playing UKN, like they're gonna have these really weird like head glitches, and you have like moving targets and stuff like that too. So you can really kind of shoot people in like weird ways. They kind of blend. They like peek you like this. You have some far targets. You can move anywhere on the map that you want and shoot them from. So if you want to put yourself in like a weird angle, this is something I recommend doing. I love personally going here, and I just like to hit like this guy. Like my routine, I'll spend like 30 minutes here. I'll hit this guy, and then I'll shoot this one, and then I'll come down here and I'll shoot this guy, and then this one, and then by that time this one's already back up, and I just kind of keep moving and hitting these like weird angles, and that kind of stuff. Occasionally I'll shoot the guy out here, these guys, this dude head peeking up there. You just find you a little routine that you like, but that's personally mine. I like to hit the harder shots because when you're trying to aim for the head, it makes you really have to have a really fine-tuned spray instead of just being like, okay, like I can kind of miss, you know, you're shooting at like a full body target, but instead you're shooting at like a head, so your spray gets tighter, and you just keep working on that until like you can beam, you know, this little guy up here over and over. And he's like, how far is he? Let's see. He is about 100 meters. So 100 meters head, like a head peak is pretty decent. You can beam that, especially if you're playing like UKN or whatever. But in reality, I don't want this video to keep going any longer. The last closing notes I can say is you're going to get out of Rust what you put into it. The AK on Rust is probably the hardest gun in any video game I've ever had to learn to spray. But once you can do that, you become a better player. Not like, you know, you don't get game sense and everything, but you understand if you get your hands on this weapon, what your capabilities are, and, you know, you kind of learn more as you do it over and over. So yeah, devote like 30 minutes of your time. Find a routine that works. Use the tips I gave you using the 8x or whatever you want to do. And don't use the 8x forever because temporarily it's good to learn the basics, but once you learn the basics, you need to practice with something that you're actually going to use in game. Unless you're just a psycho and you want to like 8x AK beam and that's like your thing. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be the tips for the video on the AK. I might make a more in-depth one later. But if you guys are looking for a clan to join or anything like that, and you want the competitive Rust scene, or you're an experienced player, you can always check out our Discord. It'll be in the description below. If you're looking to try out, feel free. We do tryouts like every day. We have a lot of in-house UKNs. Wipes are always pretty active, and we just focus on making you a better Rust player. But thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. If you don't, your views help me. Just comment if you like the video or something like that, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.